All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to I'll name this segment later. GTG spits that grease, so on and so forth. Title forever in the works. Let's see. We have a couple of short ones coming up, so I won't hold off too much. And let's just go ahead and kind of get into our situation. The title hasn't given me away yet. We're going to talk a little bit about how DSP speaks on him beating Justin Wong in Super Turbo, which is the only game that he's ever beaten him at, in 2006 and 2007, but Justin's better at everything else, like in life. Oh boy. The reality of the situation is Super Turbo was a dead game, and Justin was just trying to collect another bag. You know what I'm saying? Because Justin was already playing 3 different games at that time anyway. He was knee deep in Third Strike. He was big in CVS 2 or Capcom versus SNK 2, and then there was Marvel 2. So he was, and then all the side betting and all the money matches and all that. Super Turbo still had a little bit of life. There was still a little bit of money in it, so he played. DSP was solely focused on Super Turbo. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not here to make no excuses or anything for Justin, because you don't need that. He's a man, he can stand on his own too. The reality is that even then, DSP barely got out of there with his bacon intact. It doesn't really mean anything, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, because we're talking about qualifiers here. We're talking about qualifiers here. When it came to the big dance, he didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that's kind of important, is that, and like I said, I'll be the first one to state it, that DSP has beaten some notable names in the FGC, especially at his time. Despite the game or how dead the game was and all that, he has beaten some notable names. Keep in mind, it was a dying game, and the majority of those guys weren't solely autistically focused on Super Turbo. They had already branched out to other games and whatnot, and they showed the mental dexterity as well as the versatility to be able to do that and succeed. So losing the DSP in the grand scheme of things doesn't mean anything. He's just another opponent. You know what I'm saying? To be honest. But anyway, since someone basically hit DSP with this bait, the least we can do is go ahead and take a look at it, see what came out of it, and we'll move on from there. We'll move on from there. So let's see here. Let me pull this up real fast. Here we go.
Yeah, we do new stuff. See.
All right, so here's our video in question. Big ups to Raw Phil. Big ups to Diggs. And let's see, I think I've got all my little piglets in order here. So without further ado, that's supposed to be I'm saving that for the Snort report, but I do miss saying that shit. I don't smell no bacon cooking. Let's go ahead and get to it. Here we go.
You know what I'm saying? So thank you for the $10. I really appreciate it. But please do not suggest a game yet.
Oh my god. All right.
Too early, bro. Very good.
Oh my god, I hate when
Beer Devour, another £5. He says, any tips for Dan on Street Fighter Alpha? You're the second guy you've seen just felt it. Wait, you're the second? No. Let me try this again. You're the 2D guy. I seen you felted Justin Wong in 2006.
It was funny that back in the day, actually, if you guys have listened to Alpha-ism Radio, you've heard this before. But DSP was running around back in his day saying that he was that Anniversary Edition? I'm pretty sure it was AE. So it was, I think it was Anniversary Edition. I think it was PS2. He was running around saying that he was basically the Anniversary Edition specialist when it came to Super Turbo. And he literally tried to sell himself on that, which is crazy to think about. That version was garbage. It's so crazy. It's so crazy how he tried to prop himself up back in the day. So crazy. But you know what I'm saying, he was a chronic alcoholic. He was desperate to get these people approval. In a lot of ways, he thinks it was owed to him and whatnot, which maybe is why he persists on trying to obtain it, which ties a lot into low tier God. Like, he feels that DSP does. DSP feels that LTG owes him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he owes him. Like, he's like, I honestly think that DSP is like, I paved the way for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, DSP on his, you know, 80s villain shit. Like, I was the original bad guy and shit, and I'm the reason why that there's a lane even for you. You owe me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be reaching back to me and elevating me up. And in truth, I also think that DSP, he thinks him and LTG should team up and actually go at the fucking FGC and shit. And DSP would look at it as that's his way of getting back in on or off of LTG's back. Anyway, we'll save that for another day, but it's an interesting discussion, because after all these years, DSP won't just let that man be. I mean, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, LTG can do bad on his own. He certainly is, especially since who's on his ass right now? Who was on LTG's bumper right now? Is it Dijon? I think it's that dude's name means. Dude, I haven't even heard of that dude since Pokimane got his ass kicked off of fucking Twitch. I was surprised that dude was even still around. I thought he became like a born again or some shit. And he was like, I don't know, doing something. He was doing like religious shit. I guess he back on like some pedo hunter shit. And then either him or his mans got caught up on some shit. And now he's going at LTG. So I'll definitely tap in on that. I'm interested to see what that situation is. But anyway, LTG can do bad on his own. He doesn't need DSP to help perpetuate a bad situation and make it worse. But whatever.
First of all, tips for Dan and Street Fighter Alpha depends on which game. There's 3 Street Fighter Alpha games. You're the two.
He's more than likely talking about Alpha 3, I would think. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he could be talking about Alpha 2 as well, but I'm assuming he means Alpha 3.
The guy you felted Justin Wong in 2006.
He didn't felt him. He didn't felt him. That's not what happened, but all right.
I did. I beat Justin Wong in 2006 and 2007 in versions of Super Turbo in tournament at EVO. But
EVO qualifiers.
He has always been better than me at pretty much every other fighting game. Like, without exaggeration.
No, he's better at everything in life. Justin Wong is better than you at everything in life. You know what I'm saying? He made connections with people in the video game community. Capcom, he knows people at SNK, he knows people at Arc Systems, he knows people at Namco Bandai. He has connections everywhere, right? But then again, he was friends with a lot of those guys because a lot of those guys used to be players. You know what I'm saying? He was the literal premier player and whatnot of Evil Genius and shit. He was literally their flagship player. He brought people in. He brought in Chris G. He brought in Puerto Rican Balrog, or PR Balrog as they call him. He brought Marn in back when Marn was still playing heavy. He brought in fucking Ricky Ortiz. He brought in a bunch of people. He put people in, like, Justin is humble as fuck, so he won't say all this shit. But he put a lot of people on. He opened a lot of doors for people on the East Coast and the West. You know what I'm saying? He did a lot of that. Then, not only did he take he get big in the FGC, but in amongst game publishers for fighting games. He got cool with dudes in the game industry itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, he continued to branch off. In a lot of ways, one could say that all those years with Triforce paid off in more ways than one. But a lot of that stuff with Triforce paid off because look at how Triforce laid down some of the groundwork, not all of it, but some of that groundwork, or at least the blueprint, or at least some of it. And look at where Justin took it. You know what I'm saying? Justin has a job for life when it comes to the FGC. He'll never, ever be in a position where he can't get a paycheck, whether as a player, whether as training players, whether doing commentary. He'll always have a place. And more importantly than that, he'll always be able to open the doors for other people to get money to, for other people to build off of that shit. Dude, Justin actually turned down positions so other people could take it, just because he was good where he was at, or other things too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've heard some incredibly interesting stories about Justin just straight up opening up doors, even at his own expense and whatnot. But you know what I'm saying? You have to know the right people and who would be good for those positions. And he clearly does. There's a reason why Justin's as respected and loved in a lot of ways as he is. DSP could never have that, because DSP would let all that power go to his head. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, like, not to say Justin wasn't on some bullshit, especially on his early days and shit. I can tell you some stories, bro, from what I've been told from credible sources on some of the silly shit Justin used to do. But I mean, if DSP can demand a pass for all that bullshit, then Justin and all those other guys can too. All those guys have history. All those guys have a past. You know what I'm saying? Just as the rest of us do. So it is what it is on that. So the fact that you got a 44-year-old person, because he's not a man, you got a 44-year-old person that has to sit here and reminisce about beating a guy in a game 20 years ago, you know, in an already dead game that was 20 years ago and shit, is fucking pretty sad. It's on brand for Phil though, but it's pretty sad.
He's better than me at Marvel 2. He's better than me at CVS 2. He's better than me at Third Strike. He's better than me at modern fighting games. The only game that I'm better than him at is variations of Street Fighter 2.
And actually, I don't even believe that, because Justice still plays Super Turbo. You know what I'm saying? You can find replays of him over there on Fightcade and whatnot. He still plays. I honestly think Justin's a far better player now than he was back in his early days of shit. I don't think DSP can beat him. And I think DSP knows it. DSP has no problem with challenging him in CVS 2. He may not have a problem challenging him in Marvel because he's going to lose that game too. But I don't think he'd ever play him in Super Turbo. I think those 2 wins, if it's even 2, because I swear it's only in 2006, but if he says 2007 until I can actually go back and look, just put an asterisk next to that shit. But anyway, let's say, but for the sake of argument, even if you scrape 2 wins off of him in 2006 and 2007, I don't think you're better than him now. And I think DSP knows he's not better than him now. And I think that hurts. I think that honestly hurts. And I don't think he's going to want to do anything to mess up that mental record of, hey, I got 2 wins on you. And that's one of the reasons why DSP wants to get back on LTG so damn bad. He wants to get back for that fucking Relento. Yeah, was it Relento that LTG was using? Pretty sure that Street Fighter 4 match that I'm pretty sure LTG was using Relento. He wants to get back on that shit, and LTG won't give it to him. But realistically, DSP's not bringing nothing to the table to make it worthwhile for LTG to do it. So there's that.
That's about it. I will take that part of it. Now, Dan and Street Fighter Alpha, it totally depends on the game. Street Fighter Alpha 1, Dan was a joke character and was...
He still is, to be honest. He still is. One could say that in like... I want to say he's in Street Fighter 4. Yeah, he's in Street Fighter 4. I want to say in Street Fighter 4, he's all right. He's still a joke character, though. You're not going to get... It's not worth the squeeze, basically. Like, the amount of work that you're gonna have to put in that shit is not gonna be worth it. But it's fun though. Like, beating somebody randomly with Dan, especially in a tournament setting, is fucking hilarious. You're definitely gonna get a bunch of laughs out of that.
Wasn't very good. He was actually one of the worst characters in the game, but he had some decent combos. Street Fighter Alpha 2, I believe he was actually better. Street Fighter Alpha 3, there's only one version of him that's good, and I think it may be Xism, but I can't remember because his supers like don't even work. Like, they're bad. So basically, he's not good in Alpha at all. Like, you wouldn't play with him in Alpha unless you're trolling. You know what I'm saying? He's meant to be the troll character. So, thank you for that super chat.
And it's not wrong. So
that's another $6 of support. And then there was a $5 super chat from Wolverine Fan Dave. Just listen to this. How do you cope with not being as successful as your peers? I'm in a similar spot and I could use advice.
He can't give you any advice because just about everybody in the FGC who's actually... who participates still in the FGC has succeeded somewhere in life depending on what they're doing. Now, obviously, there's some outliers. Like, I can tell you, I can point out some guys in particular, but I won't. But for the most part, you know what I'm saying? Even amongst the upper echelon of guys, they moved on. They either went and had families and shit, or they got married and had families, I should say. Or they just had kids and whatnot. They found good jobs and whatnot, and they're, you know what I'm saying? And they still do this as a hobby. It was always a hobby. That's the misconception that DSP likes to put out there, because this is how he felt. But in the wider scope, this was just a hobby. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys either had jobs or they were grinding or whatever the case may be. And this was just a side thing that they really liked doing. It was a hobby. That's all it was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now, does that mean that there wasn't big money on the line, that there wasn't fights and shit? There wasn't all kinds of other nonsense? Yeah, there's plenty of that. There's plenty of that. There's plenty of bullshit that happened in DSP's day in the FGC. But at the end of the day, it was a hobby. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these guys didn't start making that shit a career, so to speak, until they got into orgs. And then some of those guys were still able to hold on to jobs and shit. You know what I'm saying? Before they started to really get into content creating and streaming. You know what I mean? Like, people forget, for those of you who know, Smug, for example, that dude had a job and he was still making content and he was streaming before, you know what I'm saying? He was definitely one of the most talented, unsigned guys out there for a while until he finally got picked up by an org. And even then, I didn't even recognize the name of them. And then he got picked up by another org just in the last 2 years. And I mean, you know, it's getting him from tournament to tournament. He's good on the mic. He's still retained and or has built on a lot of his skill. So he's still making his way, but he makes a lot of money, you know what I'm saying, off of his content and streaming. You know what I'm saying? Definitely more than he does doing the tournament shit, and yet he still goes. He still has it in his schedule to go to events and whatnot. He's, you know, he picks and chooses, you know what I'm saying? But that's what that is. And you could say that for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? DSP was the one that was die hard, willing to go into straight poverty for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the problem. The reason why he can weave these tales and all this bullshit is because he was so overcommitted to it. And he believed, well, all these guys had to be just as overcommitted as me, so that justified what I did. It don't. It don't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you took this shit way too far. Even fucking Dark Prince, for those of you who know your Marvel 2 lore and whatnot, him and some of the guys he was running around with actually was trying to bring gunplay to some of those situations, some of those tournaments and whatnot, which is insane. Quite literally, it was insane. But them guys were just making beef out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? That was just that type of element that those guys brought to the table, because that was the element them cats came out of. You know what I'm saying? There was no real common sense behind that shit. You know what I mean? For those of you who know know that story, or those stories, I should say. But as it pertains to fucking like going broke and all that shit, whether those guys had jobs or they were hustling on the street or whatever the fuck, they weren't making themselves go broke. They may have been willing to go to jail over the shit, but them cats weren't broke. They weren't fucking up their credit scores to do this dumb shit. So make of that what you will.
Well, what I do, here's how I cope, is I accept $5 contributions from people on the internet for literally nothing.
That's crazy that you have to resort to begging for $5 and shit to feel good about yourself, despite the fact that, yet again, these guys are starting families, or did start families. These guys are talking about opening businesses with each other and shit. Like, there's been this rumor going around for a number of years that a few of these guys want to put their money together and actually start, not necessarily an internet cafe, but like an actual legitimate arcade, not in California, but somewhere in like the Midwest, or maybe even over on the East Coast, and actually get that shit going and have it specialize in like fighting games and shit. Now, obviously, you're gonna need a little bit of everything, because you want something for everybody. But there's been dudes that have been talking about that shit for years. I mean, it's gonna be an expensive endeavor on top of finding old school cabinets, unless you're gonna build them from the ground up, which, given the technology and the know-how that's going around, you can. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's dudes who have real ambitions to try to keep the FGC kind of grassroots, at least its arcade roots, I should say. They want to keep preserving that shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is an amazing thing. It's going to be costly. It's going to be, it's going to require a lot. So maybe that's a better retirement situation for some of them cats, because some of those guys are getting up there in age. But you know what I'm saying? At least they're still trying to give back. What's DSP doing? Bitching and complaining about modern fighting games, the current community that most of them guys don't even know who the fuck he is, and collecting $5 from trolls, sympathy bucks, literally, pity dollars and shit. Some of these guys are about to fucking send their kids into like middle school, high school, some of them, and DSP sitting here begging for pity bucks. Crazy, man, when you think about that shit. Like, fucking A, like, it doesn't matter who tells you DSP is a loser. If you look at just his existence, that in itself is enough. It's a statement stronger than anything that anybody else could actually tell you.
Like, I just sit here and you send me $5 and I don't give you a valid response and I keep your money. That's how I cope with it.
Even though that's just going to get charged back. And that's something that I kind of want to, I've been paying a little bit of attention to. But This summer, if you really see him panicking or stressing out and whatnot or whatever, just any type of nervous or aggressive tendencies, it's because a lot of these chargebacks that are going on now, those shits are going to hit like early, like midsummer. I'm thinking like July, late July, early August. Some of that shit's going to hit crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because you could charge back a super chat. You can charge back just about damn near anything. You know what I'm saying? If you're going through your credit card company. So like, that's going to be tough. All that bullshit DSP like to weave back in the day about, oh, I win no matter what, and you can't do anything, and PayPal sides with them. Fuck all that. That we all know that's not true. We all know that's not true. And then as it pertains to Google's side of it or YouTube, look at no further than fucking Come-A-Lot and his dumb shit that he ain't pulled recently, but lying about fucking DMs with Mayor, and now he's like, well, I don't, I just wanted to, I just wanted to leave my mark. There's a reason why your dumb ass is where you're at. But then again, sorry, I'm going on a tangent here, but the fact that Camelot is linked to fucking Nick Rekieta, he's linked to fucking Review Tech USA. He's got history with both of them guys going back years. You know what I'm saying? So there's no surprise that fucking birds of a feather and shit. So of course fucking Camelot was going to try to insert himself into that situation. Of course he was going to lie about DMs and all that bull. It's not that motherfucker's nature. It's not even his first time doing it. There's a reason why he's at where he's at. No one trusts him because there's no reason to. They just put him on streams and shit as a fucking placeholder because that's all he is. That's all he's worth. So anyway, there's that. But so he's where he's at. But as it pertains to DSP, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You're where you're at in life for a reason. And you've earned every bit of it. Oh, but sorry, the chargebacks. Yeah, so when them chargebacks hit, because like I said, look at the Camelot situation. I think Review Tech had mentioned it too, that he might have gotten hit with a few chargebacks himself. And then look at some of the VTubers and whatnot. I can thank Asian GTG for this. But not him himself, but some of the people that we know and whatnot got hit with a few chargebacks as well through YouTube. It's a thing. It's a thing and it can happen. You know what I'm saying? So don't think, and I wonder if that's what's leading DSP to panic over there on Kick. Like maybe he's probably depending on that Kick money way more than we're giving credit for. Maybe he's using some of that to cover for chargebacks. You know what I'm saying? Or people are, doing conversions with their money and shit, and literally he's not getting anything in gifted subs on YouTube. The Argentinian peso is a thing. The Swiss krone, I think is what's called. That's a thing. That's people like trolling with that shit on Twitch. I'm just saying, bruh. This summer might get crazy if the timeline pops out the way I think it will. Because sometimes you got to pop out and show piggies.
I've never been on a water slide ever in my life. Not once. Nope. Never been to a water park or water slide.
He can't swim. So, okay. By the way, because I know this came up on somebody's stream recently, but I've been telling you this though. DSP can't swim. He can't swim. He never learned. Just like how he can't ride a bike. I heard some shit just recently, like somebody discovered this, that he's never been on a roller coaster or some shit, or he's never been to he's been to the amusement park, I think. But something about he's never been on a roller coaster? Like, he hasn't done shit. Like, that's the point. Like, he's never done nothing. Like, you can go to Alt, because I know Alt likes keeping up on that, and I think Repsy makes compilations of, like, these type of moments and shit. But the dude has never lived. That's why he looks at his reality now and thinks it's okay. The dude's never lived. Who the fuck? He said his parents took him to Disney, right? And I think he said he's never been on any of the rides. How the fuck is that a case? So you've gone to Disney and you've never been on none of the rides or nothing. Huh? Like, how's... Holy shit, bro. Holy shit. But anyway, yeah, no one should be surprised that dude's never been to a water park. The dude's never lived. I think his parents tried, but you know what I'm saying? The dude's never lived. He's only existed.
I've never been on a water slide ever in my life. Not once. Nope. Never been to a water park or water slide. I take that back because I did go to SeaWorld, and SeaWorld was half water park and half animals, but I didn't do any water park stuff. Beard of Hour, thanks for another 5 pounds. He says, bro. Much respect. Thanks for the Dan tip.
And it's not even a water park, though. I don't consider SeaWorld a water park. That's just not a thing. Like, it'd been different if he had gone to, like, like let's see, in Florida, what was that? They used to have Wet and Wild, Water Mania. They used to let's see here. There's Iowa or Islands of Adventure. They have some like fucking water rides there. I mean, well, up and down the East Coast, there's a bunch of fucking. Well, there used to be back in his day, anyway. There used to be like a bunch of water parks who did a bunch of shit, and you never went to none of them. And he had said that his parents took him down south to Florida, had taken him to Florida when he was a kid. You never went. You never did nothing. That's a damn shame, bro. Like I said, the motherfucker's never lived. He's never lived. That's why he's okay with his existence, because he's never done nothing. They always took him to safe ass shit. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like he's only gone to museums and aquariums and the zoo. You know what I'm saying? I guess that was the only thing that could keep him safe, I guess. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking crazy. And even then, that's where, like, you go on school trips to those places. You know what I'm saying? Oh, maybe your parents take you to the aquarium. You know what I'm saying? But, like, for the most part, those are school trip type activities, bruh. Fuck, man.
I wasn't aware that I gave you Dan tips. I basically told you that he sucked. But I appreciate the support nonetheless.
That's brutal, bro. That's fucking brutal. Jesus Christ, bro. Anyway, there's that. So as it pertains to, like I said, and then I gotta be honest with you with this too. Just because you beat somebody in a fighting game, right? Like let's say I played Goji Tanks, for example, like best out of 7. That would be probably traditionally, well, 3 out of 5, but you know what I mean? 3 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 3 out of 5, or 5 out of 7. If I beated Goji Tanks in that exchange, that doesn't make me better than him. You know what I'm saying? Because we could end up playing the next week, and then I could get completely fucking demolished. So, you know what I'm saying? So I don't even think that even really holds up. Like, Justin's actual skill over DSP has been displayed multiple times over the years. It's not hard to say. Just because DSP beat him in a dead game doesn't make him better than fucking Justin, to be honest. He had his moment. That's all well and good, but he didn't do shit with it. And then yet again, they were just qualifiers. And when it came to the big dance, where it mattered, he failed. DSP literally failed. So does it really mean anything in the grand scheme of things? The answer is no. But if you want to give DSP charity, then feel free. I won't criticize you for it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been, I'll name this segment later, GTG Spits That Agrees. Take care of yourselves, man. Just take care of yourselves. Don't be a dent. And how have you never learned how to swim, okay? For whatever reason. You never learned how to ride. Well, I know why you said you didn't learn how to ride a bike, because them black folk was out there and apparently you were gonna get your ass beat because your neighbor allegedly got their ass beat. So you never learned how to ride a bike. You never went to any, it doesn't sound like, I remember him saying somewhere he had never been on like a roller coaster or something. So he, you know what I'm saying? So you never went on any water rides or any slides and shit. Did you ever go camping? Did you ever go hiking? You know what I'm saying? Did you ever go kayaking? All you did was go fishing and go to the aquarium, the museum, and in the zoo. That's it. Like, Jesus Christ, you didn't do shit. Like, in some ways, he wasted his life and his youth long before he ever got a chance to live his life on his own. And he still wasted it. Make of that what you will. All right, people, take care of yourselves. I'll catch you for the next one. If I had any type of conscience, I would feel bad, but I don't. Fuck them. Take care of yourselves. Later, people.